Hello everyone and welcome to PendulumEdu, and here in this session for vocabulary I am back with another set of words for you right here. The article for today heads as Walk the Talk on India as investment destination. So all in all, we are focusing on our country, and probably the article would definitely lead us to the ways, or you can say the ops wherein we can have the investment attracted towards us or towards the businesses that the country is running natively, or you can also say indigenously. Now the operation that I just wrote it as ops that are going on, there are examples given here in the article and we are going to discuss it further. India must ensure regulatory certainty while seeking to woo global investors. Now, what does a writer wish to imply through this statement? The writer wishes to tell us that where India wishes to woo global investors, woo here is used as a verb because it's an action word, which means to attract. Okay, that is to attract, which means like they wooed us with their skills. That is, they attracted, they impressed us. Okay, so किसी को impress करना या आकर्षित करना, that is a woo. So while India is attempting to attract or to impress global investors, it should not at all forget its own or its domestic regulations. Okay, it should not forget, or it should not overlook the certainty, the assurity or the surety of its domestic success as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent address at a virtual global investor roundtable was delivered as his wont. Now, his wont, which means as his nature or his behavior. Wont is the basic behavior of a person. WONT, wont, is noun, which is general behavior. Alright, so this is a general behavior of a person, जिसे हम हिंदी में कहते हैं व्यवहार. So as he is, the person, this kind of person, the sort of person Mr. Modi is, as is his wont, he again addressed at the global investor meet. What did he do? He, with inimitable energy and trademark alliterative phrases, he again came up with the global investment ideas, or probably what he's seeking further. Now, inimitable energy, which is unique. Inimitable is an adjective which means something that is unique, something that cannot be copied, or something that exists one of its kind. So, unique energy and trademark alliterative phrases. Alliterative is again an adjective used here. Why are we saying alliterative phrases? Because it is relative, his phrases are related to alliteration. Now, alliteration is a figure of speech, right? जब हम कोई बात समझाने की कोशिश करते हैं और उसका comparison किसी और से भी कर रहे होते हैं, at that moment, that is alliteration. So his phrases or his speech included alliterative phrases. Alliterative is an adjective which is something related to alliteration. Alright. Pitching India as the ideal destination, he stressed that the country offered a gamut of benefits spanning returns with reliability, demand with democracy, stability with sustainability, and growth with a green approach. Now, these are the things that he stressed on. This is what he's looking forward to, and this is what he wants to get the countries to work for. So he offered a gamut of benefits. Gamut is noun, which means, see, we also say ambit, AMBIT. This is another word or synonym to gamut. With gamut, it is a noun which means he came up with range of benefits, variety of benefits. ठीक है, जो कहते हैं ना एक तरीके का जो स्कोप होता है किसी चीज़ का, जो like range आप कह सकते हैं in हिंदी. Now, So benefits spanning. Spanning, that is relating or including. Spanning is a verb used right here. I'm going to wipe off the screen and explain it to you. Spanning is a verb used here. It's a verb, all right, and it means including over the time. Okay, so what does it include? All of these: sustainability with growth and stability with sustainability. He also underscored, guys. Underscore is a verb which means emphasize. So he also emphasized on, किसी बात पर जोर डालना. So what did he emphasize on? He emphasized on the country's planned $1.5 trillion national infrastructure pipeline and other public projects as an immense opportunity for trust fund managers looking to reap the best and safest returns over a longer term of their principles. So people who are looking for like a good amount of return on their principal amount that they invest, if that's the case, then he has I would say a huge opportunity for those people who can vest their interest and trust together. This project is National Infrastructure Pipeline and Other Public Works Project, which has the investment of total $1.5 trillion. So this is one opportunity that he has offered to people who wish to come up for the safest returns over whatever investment they make. Moving ahead, the article further reads as, seen in the context of the pressing need to revive investment, that is to bring back, okay, to revive investment, his exhortations tick all the right boxes. Exhortation is noun, all right. When it says seen in the context of pressing need to revive investment, his exhortation tick all the right boxes. Whatever he thinks, like ideas, ways or techniques, you can say, they tick all the right boxes. So they go for everything that's appropriate. As the RBI noted in its latest monetary policy report last month, investment already in contraction mode since the July-September quarter in 2019 suffered a further massive pandemic shock. So through this quarter, we are all aware of this, and we again suffered a pandemic shock, massive, which like after 2019, if you see 2020, it was completely like a shock for all of us. Fixed investment, which almost halved the first quarter of the current fiscal, continues to face an uncertain outlook given the weak consumption demand and excess capacity in most industries, especially when coupled with stretched balance sheets that cram businesses' ability to borrow and invest. That cram, that affects, okay, or you can say that reduces the effectiveness of something. So cramp is a verb which means किस कमज़ोर करना, okay, किसी चीज़ पर आप impact कर रहे हो, and that is a negative impact that is coming up. That moment I would say, so what is having negative impact? The balance sheets, which are the stretched ones. With stretched balance sheets we mean some which has more of number of liabilities instead of assets. So and this definitely brings to us wherein we are unable to borrow and invest. That this is according to the RBI. And the government's ability to apportion more funds. Apportion, that means divide. Apportion is a noun which means division. Okay, or you can also say allocation. Allocation, partner. Alright, more funds for growth spurring capital projects is hamstrung by a widening fiscal deficit. Is hamstrung, is stuck, or is discontinued. Hamstrung, I would say that hamstring is the correct word, and here it's used in the past form because the sentence you see is in passive. Now, the very first thing, hamstrung or hamstring in like basic or in literal terms, it means to I would say to detach the wings, okay, of any flying animal or any flying bird. So when hamstring, we say that's just to take off or to detach the wings. But here we are talking about, not in terms of wings, but we are talking in terms of a situation. So definitely it means to weaken or to debilitate, to weaken. That is again similar to cram, to have negative impact and definitely making it weak. So this was when the government tried or thought of investing in growth spurring projects, in the major projects, and it got hamstrung because of this point, that is a stretch balance sheet. It is coming complete in the flow, everything is interlinked. If you see stretch balance sheet, because of which we cannot borrow and invest, because of this we cannot invest definitely in the major or the capital projects, and this ultimately widens or emboldens the fiscal deficit, which is very obvious. So it says amid a protracted border standoff. This is another problem, India and China standoff. We have discussed a lot about this. So protracted border standoff, that is long, stretched. Protracted means long, like that goes for a long span of time, lamba. All right. The health crisis and debilitating revenue shortfall. Debilitating, weakening. See, again, weak words are related. We have debilitate, we have hamstring, we have cram. So all these words are more or less related, so don't get confused. These are three different words used to convey the similar meaning of a particular word, but three different words are used. Moving ahead, asserting that all sectors of the economy were looking up in the wake of the government's resolute tackling of the pandemic, Mr. Modi cited a 13% increase in FDI flows in the first 5 months of the financial year as reflective of the global investor community's confidence. So wherein the entire like I would say the public or the people of the nation were looking up to the government to tackle the pandemic well, wherein at the same moment Mr. Modi came up with giving an announcement that there was 13% increase in the FDI flows for the first 5 months of this fiscal year. However, what he likely overlooked or ignored, that means ignored, was that with almost 3/4 of the $27 billion of FDI equity inflows in that period being accounted for by stake acquisitions in a single large telecom company. Stake, that means the share, okay? So acquired in a large telecom company, a bulk of this investment is likely to manifest as new job creating factories or businesses. So what are they coming up? It says that since they have invested $27 billion, and this major investment was in a telecom company, okay, wherein the government has acquired some share. The positive outlook of the picture is that this would result in job creation. As a former chief minister of Gujarat who aggressively solicited, solicit is to ask for. It's a word which means to ask for something. कोई चीज़ के मांगना या उसके लिए इच्छा करना. All right? That is solicit. So he solicited and won industrial investments definitely. Mr. Modi is surely only too well aware that what investors crave most is regulatory certainty. That the amount would be there and things would keep on regulating it. The amount they invest will be there for a longer span of time. The Prime Minister needs to ensure that his assurance of stability is buttressed by actions that dispel investors' concerns over policy flip-flops. Dispel, that completely removes the concerns, okay, it's a verb, that means it raises the doubts that investors have in their mind, or they bear in their mind. It has to be buttressed by action, it has to be supported by actions. A buttress is also a verb. Sahara dena. Alright? So it should be buttressed by actions, and Now, when in the statement, as we all say, that actions speak louder than words, so definitely the action should come up better in a better version than the statement that he gave, that everything would be done in a way wherein there definitely would be regulatory certainty for the investors, or wherein the FDI flows in. Lastly, it has been said, even as the centre is yet to clarify whether it will accept or challenge the tossing of its tax claim against Vodafone. Now, this was yet another case that was highlighted, and our government was found at fault. And it says, okay, yet central government is still there to decide on this, like whether it would toss the claim or whether it would flip the claim that it made against Vodafone by an international arbitral tribunal. It's separately last week enacted an ordinance to retrospectively amend the arbitration law, which was definitely unfair, ostensibly to deal with contracts that may be underpinned by fraud or corruption. Underpin is to support it. Now here, see, underpin came from the word underpinnings. Underpinnings in Hindi we term it as नींव. किसी चीज़ का जो बेस या फाउंडेशन होता है उसको हम कहते हैं underpinnings. So this word underpin as a verb or an action word was taken from here only, underpin, which means to support. So this entire thing it is doubtful that it might be supported by fraud or corruption. The rule changes in wholesale and online trade are another example of shifting goalposts. Mr. Modi has his task cut out. Make sure that investors see him walk the talk. Has his task cut out means it is clear. It is clear to him what he needs to do. एकदम साफ तरीके से उनके सामने है that he needs to ensure that the investors are not doubtful about and putting money into it, and they find what he says, what Mr. Modi promises, he definitely fulfills. Only then this would be successful here in our country. So this is what the writer has a say on the investors' point of view and what the government of our nation should be doing to support or to enhance or to improve the FDI inflow. So the article ends here for today. I shall be back with another article soon in the next session. You guys can practice the word. The link is there in the description. You can go to the site. You can have the list of the words with you, with example sentences and other words for the same. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it right away. I will be seeing you in the next session. Thank you so much.